short-term saving, which is 10%, and long-term.
Account, okay. I missed the beginning. It's fine. Like it's account.
The budget, yeah.
So, okay, so this is a budgeting system that I use because money has to move around. I learned this in Harbecker 16 years ago. It actually worked. 16, 17 years ago I learned this. So what I do is I divide up my bank account on the savings side. So this actually works out to be only what? Add up 17 plus 6 is what? 23 plus 3 is 26 plus 6 is 32 plus 3 is 32, 35, 38, 38, 48, 58. This is actually only 58% of what you're making. That's divided up into different accounts. You see how I do that? So the other 42% is still in your checking account to look after your bills. Does that make sense? And your groceries and your usual expenses. Does that make sense? This actually works. I've been doing this for 17 years. Even through a bankruptcy, I was able to do it when I had nothing. Okay? So the whole idea is, so Harbecker, I'm a Christian, but Harbecker, he was like a Buddhist. So what he said was money is energy. And money has to move around in order for you to increase in it. Okay? So basically, you can't be a hoarder. The universe doesn't like hoarding. You can't just be saving because you're not having any fun with your money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but some people, they spend too much, right? They have a spending issue.
Hoarder.
So some people, they just spend, then they're always broke and they're in debt. You don't want to be doing that. So you need to set aside a budgeting system. So because I have a business, I got to pay taxes. You don't want to get behind on that. I always set aside 17%. That's worked for me for the last 16, 17 years. Okay? Then play fund. Play fund is the money every month or two I spend a good chunk of what's in there for me. Fun. Go to a French restaurant, go out on a date. Play fun. I go and buy a bunch of nice shoes, right? Or a nice pair of boots, right?
So 6% of your monthly income.
Whatever income you're getting. Yeah, every 2 weeks, whenever you get paid.
Of each pay. Okay.
That's right, of each pay. This is what you set aside. It's separate account. You actually open up
8 accounts.
7. These are 7 accounts I open up in my bank.
Oh.
You can do that under
You
savings.
Yeah, you can have savings.
Yeah, under savings.
7 card.
Under savings, Vanessa, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 accounts.
Okay.
Now, you don't have a business, so you don't have to worry about tax, okay? So you'll only have 7, okay? That makes sense? See how this works now? And when I go online, I just transfer money from my checking account to my 7 accounts every couple of weeks. That's what I do. It's great. I love it. It makes me feel good, right? Because guess what? Even when I was bankrupt, I only had an excess of $200 I could put away, right? But guess what? I divided that $200 up into 7 accounts. I'm going to tell you something. It may not seem like a lot. You know, only $20 here, $40 there, $30. It doesn't seem like much. Guess what? After 2 months, it adds up. All of a sudden, I go into my account after 2 months. Holy frig, I got $800 in my play fund. Hey, right? I can now spend some of that without ruining my bank account. I still have money I have money here to look after my flat tire, oil change. You know, my manifold gasket went on my BMW. You know what that cost me? $750. Guess what? I had a contingency fund with money in it. Contingency means emergency. Contingency is another word for emergency fund.
Like you have to replace the fridge, the stove,
That's
the
right.
furnace, the
That's right.
washer, the dryer,
Yeah.
everything. Okay.
So in my stove element, that's $185 for a stove repair guy to fix your stove, right?
And so you just keep building money up in there.
I always have money in there.
until you have to spend it.
Yeah, but you're always going to be spending it anyway.
Yeah.
But you always have a certain amount, right?
Okay.
So once you get good at this, you'll have a few thousand in every account. Okay? So now realize you are spending some of it, right? So these accounts will always go down because you're spending it. You know, you may go up to whatever your budget is. You may go up to 600, you may go up to 1200. These accounts will keep going. So contingency, I make it 3%. You don't want to tell the universe, you don't want to tell God, you don't want to say, I'm going to have 6% of emergencies. No, you don't want to do that. You want to say 3%. You want to keep it at a doable level, right? You don't want to bring that in. This is all based on the law of attraction. Holiday fund, 6%. Long weekend. I want to go to Toronto. I do this all the time. Every year. I got to go visit my nephews. I'm from Toronto. I have friends there. I have people I want to visit. Keep in touch with the last 20 years. 19 years. I twice a year I go. Summertime, wintertime. I haven't been able to the last couple of years, but too busy, but I am going in the summer though. Stay with my nephew, have fun with them, some of my old friends, my hometown, right? That costs money. Because I can't stay with everybody because I can't eat their food. I can't live like that. So I stay in a hotel for 5 days, right? 4 or 5 days. That costs money. Dog Valley Hotel, I like that place. It's got a pool, the whole bit, gym, right? So I got money for that. And I like to go to certain restaurants, right, with my friends. You understand what I'm saying? So my play fund has enough money to look after. My holiday fund has enough money. What I do is I usually combine what's in my holiday fund with my play fund. Does that work? Now, I don't clean it out. I always leave some left in, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't clean it right out. I still leave a few $100s left in there. It's not wise to have it empty, okay? Keep a few $100s. Just because you come back home and you may have a date. Or you may want to buy a new dress or something. You know what I mean?
So is that like going out to dinner during the week?
Yeah, all that stuff. Buying a pair of boots.
But if you don't have it in those accounts, it will still be physically or like.
What do you mean you don't have it? I don't understand what you just
Your
said.
account. It will be in.
I understand what do you mean you don't have it? I don't understand what you mean by that.
Like if I have like $1,000 my paycheck.
Yeah.
And I do 70% and.
It's not 70, it's 58% goes into 58% of your $1,000 goes divided up into, well, for you it's not even 58. Take away 17.
Oh, no.
For you, it's actually only 40%, 39%. Only 39% of your paycheck gets divided into this, which you would be doing anyways.
So my 39%.
You're gonna be
I put
saving
it in another
into these accounts. 39% you put. So what you do is you take 6% of your paycheck.
Yeah, I understand, but it means if I don't put it in the different account, it will
Have
be
it in one account, you mean?
It will be in my account, so I will still have that money.
Of course, but it's not a good way to do it
Because you don't.
because you're not disciplined. We're not disciplined enough to know that. You won't know how much money you have in each account for different things.
So where's your car payment coming out of, for example?
My car payment already comes out of my checking account. My checking account has still 40% of my money in there all the time, right?
Okay.
This is only 58%.
Right, so I'm just wondering, I'm wondering what all comes out
Okay,
of that.
this comes out to 58%.
Right,
Remember I
got
said
that, yeah,
Okay. It's only 58% of whatever you make.
right.
Okay? So that means I've got, math is good. It's good to know math. This is grade 7 math we forget to do, right? Very good to do this.
42% is left.
42% is left. No, for you it's more.
Right,
Because you
but
guys don't have a
17.
tax fund, right? You all have jobs. So for me it is, but for you, you have what?
59%.
You have 59% here. Sorry, I don't like dirty my hand. Okay? So you have 59%.
Where's the taxes of the house?
So, oh, you pay taxes on the house?
Yes.
Okay. So how much does that work out to a year?
Like
Couple
taxes
thousand?
like 2,000 a year.
Okay.
But that would
So you
come
need
out
to
of your 59%, wouldn't it?
no.
Because you're
You want to put that's taxes. You're paying taxes.
You pay
So
monthly?
you need to calculate
No, I
how
pay
much
it a year.
how much is the $2,000 of your income. I don't know. Maybe you want to set. So you need to figure out the number for that. So for you, you may want to make this 8%. Right? That work? Or 5%? Does that work?
Or for something.
Yeah, I don't think you need. I don't think you need 8. I think for you it'll be. I think for you it'll be like, yeah, 5%. I think 5% will be enough.
So anything you pay yearly like that, you might want to consider opening a separate account, right?
Yeah, that's what I do. So you should have an account for your property tax.
Yeah.
Okay. And guess what? If you have too much in there, guess what? You can spend it. Right? That's what I do. I always have an extra. You know, like I had an extra 1,000 in my tax account. 12. Oh, that's great. I just transferred it into my play fund, and I had more
Just
money.
buy a new window.
Right? This year I actually got money back, which is kind of cool because I get to write off everything. By the way, if you guys want to save money, register as a business. Just create a business. Sole proprietor. Just call yourself whatever. Okay?
Okay.
Say you do part-time. It's got to be real though. Say you part-time, say you want to do consulting and you consult once every 6 months. Now you can have a business name and you can write, she knows this, but you can do that. Anything. You sell socks. I don't care. Right? You can do that. Do you know what? I get to write off 75% of my grocery bill because I'm a nutritionist. Because everything I buy and cook is based on my knowledge and I'm always experimenting. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, and how much money do you spend on groceries? Like for me, I spend like 150 a week, right? Sometimes 200. I eat all kinds of stuff. So I got money back. All right. So 59%. Holiday education is courses, books. You got to be at least 3%. Jen, these audios I gave you, you need to be ordering books. That's just the first book, The Magic of Thinking Big, but there's more books, right? If you guys get really good at the audios, you may want to join the association. It's $150 a month for that. US. 200 Canadian. Yeah. I was part of it for a few years. I'm thinking of joining again because I miss the people. Like, you can't put a price tag on the people you meet.
I know.
Because those people opened up my life, right? Think about it. Some of them became my clients, but they were just like, I learned so much from these people. Like, they taught me how to become more successful in my business, right? Think about it. You can't put a value on that, right? So, 3% always for education. That could be a course, right? That could be anything towards education. Your own books, courses. You should always be growing. 3% giving. The universe doesn't like hoarding. They don't like people that are selfish, right? When you give, 100 other things in your life comes here and gives back to you. Did you know that? I don't know if you know, but I give a lot right here. Right? I have people that can't afford the challenge, right? So I do what I can. 3%. Short-term saving. Short-term. What's short-term? You want to save up for a skidoo. You want to save up for a new bike. $2,000 Raleigh. You know, the bikes are expensive, right? $1,500, right?
Or vacation.
Yeah, vacation at the end of the year. It could be you want to save up for a patio deck, or you want to save up for new draperies. You know, like whatever it is. But stuff like that costs a couple $1,000s. So you got to save up for that, right? So that's short term. That's stuff that's going to take you 6 months to a year. Okay?
6 months to a year?
6 months to a year.
Okay.
This is you never touch it. This is long term. This is for your retirement. This is, we call it the golden goose that lays the golden egg. Have you heard of that term? Golden goose. Harbacker mentioned that. That lays the golden egg. What do you think the golden egg is?
Freedom.
The golden egg.
Interest.
Oh, interest.
Right.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So you want to have, that's right, you want to have enough money set aside so you can collect the interest. All the rich people, that's how they do it. They invest in real estate, you know. So I have a friend of mine, he's 33, I'm trying to work towards that. He's 9-10 years, he's only 33, 34, bright guy. Took him 9 years, 10 years. Photographer, video, his own business. Started at 19, his business, 19, after I got from college. No family here, he's Polish, with nobody. Think about this, nobody. His family's on the other side of the country, by himself, starts his business, saves up money, buys his first house. Then he rents out the other 2-3 rooms. He works every weekend. He saved up $200,000 at the end of 7 years. 7-8 years. Yeah. At the end of 8-9 years, he had $200,000 in his account. You know what he did with that? Then his mother and him partnered up. They bought 3 houses, duplex, about 5 years ago.
Wow.
5.5 years ago here, West End, different one. He took, and then he also paid $700-800 and took real estate course. Took a marketing real estate. Took different courses. Him and I, we were in the same association together. That's how I met him. He was level 4. At that time, he was only 27. Smart. Yeah, focused.
Yeah.
Didn't sleep around like one girlfriend she left. Okay, that's fine. He just stayed alone. Like, he's focused. You know why?
I just sleep around.
Whatever. You don't want me to get that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how some
It's
some
focused,
27-year-old
it's focused,
guys,
right?
they go to bars and they're different girl, like, and he's a good-looking guy. He didn't get carried away, right? He focused on what he wanted. You're not going to get there living like that, right? That sort of lifestyle. So, so guess what? He got together with a property manager. He invested the money. He's got tenants, 3 apartments in each house, right? He's making about $6,000 a month. I think he's making more than that now. He's got 5, so he's close to 7, 8. His one house in 5.5 years has gone from, he bought it for $320 in the West End and Green Bank, $320,000 about 5.5 years ago. He got a good deal on it. Put $100,000 of renovation into it because him and his guy, they made a partnership, right? He's an amazing contractor, this guy, friend of his, partnered up with him. Fixed it up, now it's worth $800,000.
Oh my God.
He just made $400,000 in 5 years. That's smart.
Yeah.
Plus he owns another 4 houses. And they're also increasing. So he's going to be close to, worth $1 million pretty soon. So he's done that in 5.5 years, all because he saved for 9 years. So, Gen concept, those audios I gave you, you only have to be right once. See what I said? You don't have to be right once. You can be wrong a lot of times, you only have to be right once. Guess what? I've been trying to market my business for 22 years. 22 years I've been trying in the health fitness. I've tried everything. I can consult now. I've done everything, man. I've done MLM. I've worked at 12 different gyms and health centers, including clinics, chiropractors, you name it. I've worked with them. I've worked with doctors. Work with everybody. Kept getting learning a little bit more. How to do this, how to do it, how to do it. Then I met Maverick. Bang. 500 leads. They sent me 250 leads in 2 weeks. 250 clients, leads. In 2 weeks they sent it to me. Do you know what it costs to get 250 leads by most? You're going to pay them at least $2,000 a month. You know that. That's what it costs to just get maybe 150 leads a month. These guys sent me almost 500. So does that work for you, Heather?
Yeah,
Any questions?
I'm just thinking, debt, where does that factor into that? Where does that get accounted
So this is
for?
how I paid off my debt. I had a $15,000 credit loan when I started this 17 years ago. Couldn't pay it off. Plus I had a $20,000 student loan. I still owed $10,000 I was trying to pay off 17 years ago. Okay? So that's kind of high pressure, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't have a job. I was supply teaching a little bit and I was running my studio. Okay? But I worked hard. And what I did was, when I started doing this, guess what I did? This, I used towards my debt. 20%.
Both?
Yeah. Because I wanted to get out of debt.
You didn't buy yourself love stuff.
No, but I still had money for play fund. See how I did it? It wasn't like I didn't feel strapped. Well, I did pretty good, right? Like I had 32 clients at my studio before. Like I went through a few years that was good, a few years bad, a few years good, right? But I still had money in my play fund. I could still go out to dinner on the weekends. I could still, I wasn't I didn't go to a French restaurant, but I could still go out and have a meal. I could still go to the movies. I could still do stuff that was fun, right? I could still go on my holidays, right?
Yeah, otherwise it's not sustainable.
That's right. That's why you got to do this, because this is sustainable. You're still enjoying life. You can't put everything in savings and try to, that's not how it works. You have to live. In a year and a half, I paid it off. Year and a half, I paid off my student loan and the $15,000.
Oh, wow, that's
I paid off $26,000 in a year and a half
wow.
using this. And I was trying to pay it off for 10 years before, or 6 years. I couldn't do it. So figure that one out. Tell me what happened. Because my income hadn't changed.
This gave you the guideposts to follow.
Yeah, that's right.
The income hadn't changed?
At first, I bet the tricky part is at first, when you first start doing this, you won't have a lot in your play fund.
No, it doesn't have to. Yeah, it can be $20. It can be. When I started, I remember there was months when I went through my bankruptcy. It was only $20 I was putting in there for the first couple months.
Would you use that
$40,
right away?
$50. No, I waited after a month or two until I had a few hundred after the end of the month. I would say 20. I mean, they were really good to me. Like, okay, so this is why I got you to listen to the audios. You guys gotta listen to these audios. You gotta do what I tell you. If you don't do what I tell you, you're not gonna get the results. So this is what I'm gonna tell you right off the bat. If you skip everything I tell you to do on the coaching side, you will only get 40% of the result. You will only get 20 maybe. If you do 100%, I've had a few of them that did 100 or even 95, like Richard did it. Askar's starting to do it. You'll get 90% of the result. Because everything's energy. It's your thoughts create this. So you have to actually believe that this works. It does. Now think about what I just did. I supply teach. I got a mortgage. I got bills, just like you guys. My bills are higher, actually. I'm paying money for this place. It's higher than your rent, I guarantee it. I have to supply teach. I'm doing 4 or 5 days. I'm up at 5:30. Plus, they want me to pay them back. The second half, I paid them the first half too. And that wasn't $1,000. Then I had to pay them my first 20 sales, 10 grand. Now think about what I was doing. I had to believe in that, right? So I've got they send me 380 clients, 400 clients. I got to go through all those people. I've been doing it by myself for the last 2.5 months. Guess what? I just get up, transformation book. 3 things that happened due today. That's what I've been doing for 2.5 months. Sign up, serious people, my challenge. Every day, I write it down. I haven't missed. I get up 5:30, an extra 20 minutes before getting ready for school. I do that. I look at my dream board. I look at it. I have pictures of the gym in there. I have pictures of clients. I have pictures of money on my dream board. I look at that every day. I've been looking at it for 9 years. It's a way of life with me. If I have to sit in a bank, I close my eyes and I visualize. I think about my stuff. That's what I do. That's what you have to do. You have to live in that reality. You got to start believing that it's coming in. Guess what happens? It starts to happen. So, a few times, like, the first month was brutal because I was still learning how to do this, right? Some of the meetings, right? I was a little bit more rusty, right? You notice?
No, well, I wasn't laughing because of that.
Okay,
I was just laughing
okay.
because of your animation. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, that you were just
I'm
kicking it
learning.
off, right?
Yeah, I'm learning. Like, they didn't tell me everything, so because I was so busy supply teaching, right? I wasn't like other gym owners. I missed some of the training. It was on the video, but I missed some of it, and then I got it later. I was supposed to spend 2-3 hours every day calling them right away, and I let it pile up to the weekend. So I hadn't called anybody for 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, and I had 250 people on the friggin' thing, and I had to go through them. That was tough. So I lost my first 180 people. They lose momentum, right? After 3.5 weeks, they go, "Who are you?" Like, they forgot that they had signed up. Now everything's caught up, right? So the first month I kind of lost it. So I would actually have double the amount of clients right now if I did that. But I learned. That's okay. It still worked out. I still learned. So now we're in momentum. Now it's starting, caught up. I call all the time. So it's happening. Right? They're getting better. And you know what else is happening? Because I'm also getting clients outside. Referrals. People are just coming in.
Showing up.
Yeah, just showing up. People calling me. Old clients calling me. So momentum. You got to create it. So you want to create that? You say you want to create that apartment. You need to get a dream board, get a picture.
I got mine. So I put it together electronically for now.
Beautiful. That's fine.
I put it beside my bed every night, like
Okay.
before I go to bed.
But can you print it off?
I did, but it just didn't print that well.
That's fine. As long as you can see it, as long as you can recognize it, put it on board. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for you, right? Paper, tangible. Cut out pictures out of a magazine. I don't care what. That's what I do. I take pictures out of a magazine, treadmill. I want a treadmill. Okay, bang. I want this. I want that. Leather jacket. Oh, I like that one. Cut it out. Bang. That's what I do. I got layers of stuff on my board. I got like 150 stuff. Make it real. And then put you in it. The more you put yourself in it, the more real it gets in your head. Because you can visualize it, right? When you can feel it and touch it, you heard that in the when you can feel it and touch it, you know what I did? I went to Lamborghini dealership in Montreal. Started it up, $250,000 car, I love it. This is how the rich live. This is how it feels. Makes it more real, doesn't it? Talk to the dealer. He thought I was rich. Oh, he thought I'd BMW. He thought I was, he was trying to sell me out, right? I got money, but not that much. But you know what he was telling me? He was telling me that his clients come back every so many years. He doesn't have to sell. Same clients come and order a new one every 3-4 years. Because these are all millionaires, yeah.
Oh, really?
They have a certain, same, once you have the same clients, you're set, right?
How can you buy a Lamborghini?
But there are people that make $1 million a day. There are
Like
people
it's
that are rich.
old, like any other car.
Oh, I just had it for a year. I'll
You know what?
change it.
All I tell people is, you know what? People say I don't need money. That's a bunch of crap. When people tell me that, that's so much BS. That makes me sick. Nobody really believes that. Everybody needs money to have resources. Everybody, right? It's not about being selfish. It's about you need resources to live. I have a millionaire friend in Toronto. Took me out for dinner. It was amazing just being around him because he's just like has freedom, right? And he came from nothing. He just, what do you want to eat? He doesn't even think about menus. He just takes me to a nice restaurant, downtown Toronto. Yeah, okay. Whatever you want.
Then you find some people like that. Like I know a lot of people like that, and then other ones that just have a real big chip on their shoulder and they don't want to give anything.
Yeah, well, that's because they don't know Jim. They don't know the concept of giving, right? They're not fully coached. They can be rich, but they can actually be always scared of losing it.
Right,
They have the right attitude.
to get the fear.
And they also have misery.
Yeah.
So people that are like that, they're actually not happy. So you
Right.
can have the money, but if you're vibrating wrong, you're not going to enjoy your life. So it's about vibrating the right way, right? So I'm going to finish off with this. You guys need to write out a paragraph of your dream. You need to have one chief aim. I don't care what it is. Chief aim. Chief aim. Dream. I'll tell you what I mean by that.
And blue.
Chief aim.
Main-
Can I erase this?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why.
A main goal.
Aim. I'll tell you what. You got to have a clear dream. Whatever the mind of man can bring himself to believe he can achieve. Napoleon Hill, right? 16 Laws of Success. That's what he said in his book. Whatever the mind of man and woman, right? We need to include women in these books. I don't know why. They're always saying man. But, Yeah, I know. It's old English.
I keep on feeling like that I'm behind the ball because I'm getting older. But I know that's not true because things can change in a heartbeat that you don't anticipate, right?
Just remember, you create it. You created it. You got to believe that you're creating everything. If you don't believe that, you're still we're in a victim mindset, and things will happen to you. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You have, even if you're in the worst situation, you have to believe that you can create better, that you are changing your mindset. And the only way you can do that is I got to feed you, because most of us, you may want to write this down, most of us are starting with a huge negative ball of energy. Do you believe it? You heard that on the audios, right? How many CDs have you listened to?
I'm reading the first one.
Okay. You need to listen because you got the time. Dude, I did 3 hours a day. I went through the CDs 5 times in 3 weeks. That's the way all of them, 5 times I went through it in 3 weeks. That's the way, I had it playing everywhere. I had it on my computer, I had it on CD, in my car, on my iPhone, while I'm running, while I'm working out. I wanted to get it all. You know why? Because the more I listened to it, the more I got it. By the 5th, 6th time, guess what happened to my sales? Everything started to increase. I wanted to get there faster. I don't want to waste time. Right? I'm not 20 years old. So, Chief Feng.
See, that's the way I feel.
I'm not like 20 years old like Vanessa.
I'm not 20.
I know, she looks it though. Okay. Chief, is it I before E?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I always forget with Chief. It's kind of weird spelling.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you need
Except
to.
after C.
Okay, yeah. I remember the English. Yeah. I know.
Something
I before
way,
E.
right?
Okay, so Chief Feng, you need to have a dream. Define your dream. Okay, you need to be able to say define your dream in
It's singular.
2 to 3 sentences. If I was to ask you what you don't have to tell me, you should be able to tell it to me in 2, 3 clearly, like memorized. If you can't tell me, you don't know what you want. I guarantee you that.
Well,
Do you know it?
on the video or on the audio, they talk about defining your dream. You have to have one chief,
Chief Feng.
like the overarching theme. But I find that really hard to pick because I've got 2 or 3 of them going on.
But there's one, the main one you want to first start with. Okay,
Is that
so
how
all
you
right,
get
so
it?
this is a different. So dream
Okay.
is it will take 3 lifetimes to achieve. So you make it big. 3 lifetimes to achieve. Okay? So it could be say a person starts a shoe store. He wants to have a shoe franchise for all of North America. International. From here to Paris, right? I mean, there are people doing that, right? There are shoe stores, right? Look at what's that sandals store? Birkenstock. They're all over the world. They're one of the biggest, right? He had a dream, right? The founder had a dream. They've been around for what, 50 years? Okay. That was his dream. He said, okay, my dream is I want to be all over the world. Well, it's going to take him at least 2, 3 lifetimes to achieve that, right?
It took it 50 years.
Well, they've been around for at least 50 years.
Oh,
40, 50, yeah. See, you need to realize that everything around you is someone's dream. This is someone's dream. Someone created this chair. He's selling it. The shirt you're selling, you're wearing is someone's dream. They created it, designer. The person that created this furniture line. Everything is a dream. The guy that created this rocker company. Everything is a dream. I'm trying to get your eyes open now. So somebody's making a lot of money. It ain't me. You got it? The guy that made this. People are not awake. You're not awake. You're walking in dream all the time. The guy that made the flooring. I was a contractor for. I know about all this stuff. I pay attention. Most people don't pay attention. That's what you hear on the audios. Most people are asleep. Asleep. You know what I do all the time when I'm driving? I notice other clubs. I watch how they do it. Keep track. I write stuff down in my day planner. You want to see my day planner? You know what my day planner looks like for the last 22 years? That's what it looks like every day. Every day. You got it? Every day. For 22 years. In fact, it's been like that for 35 years actually. Because I always had goals.
It's better to write it down now.
Write it down. Everything. I have 7 to 8 books on my bedside for the last 35 years. I never start a day without reading at least a chapter to 2 pages of a book. Never. In 35 years. Never missed. How do you think I got to where I am? I was a high school dropout, grade 9 education. General Motors with a bunch of ignorant guys. At 21. You know what that was like? Or 19, 18. I said, no, I'm not going to stay here. I want something more.
Yeah.
Right? Kept thinking about it. Guess what came to me back then when I was 21? It's like this inner guidance. You're going to hear about this. You'll get inner guidance. As a Christian, I believe it's God, His Spirit. He's giving you the vision. I don't know. One day I'm going to have a fitness. I think I'm going to be a fitness guy. I kept saying, I don't know how, but that's what came to me.